The Ducati Panigale V2 personifies Emerson's quote. This is a beautiful motorcycle, and it makes you take every opportunity to take that in. Absorbing its beauty from different angles, seeing it pop against breathtaking sceneries, and watching others admire it on ride outs. Based on looks alone, I would buy the Panigale V2. The architecture of the bike, that front end, the fact they revealed part of the exhaust when they could have so easily covered it up. Ducati got the aesthetic of this bike so right. It is simply jaw-dropping. But the fact that it rides so well, that's another story entirely. The drama felt when you look at it matches the way it rides. From the initial turn of the ignition, you are met with the thunder of the V-twin and its loud exhaust note. In person, the V2 sounds different to what I imagined it from seeing other online footage. It's loud and it sounds incredible on full gas. The thing just booms. The V2 is powerful. Anyone thinking that this is a poor relation to the Panigale V4 is mistaken. The V2 may be a relation, but it's not a poor relation to anything. It's absolutely rapid. The 955cc Super Quadro V-twin pumps out 155 horsepower and 77 pound-foot of torque. There is a lump of torque low down, but it doesn't run out of puff like a traditional V-twin might. The V2 delivers some serious urgency at the top of the rev range. The road-going appeal of a 1000cc superbike is the feeling of power that you don't get with smaller capacity sports bikes. The V2 has a lot of that lower speed urgency and grunt that makes it an incredibly engaging bike to ride at realistic road-going speeds, and its in-gear performance is excellent. However, we did want to stretch its legs a bit more, so as part of our testing, we went to the airstrip and the bike performed incredible, achieving a 0 to 60 time of 3 seconds, 0 to 100 in 6, and 0 to 140 in 9.7 seconds. We've done this on a number of bikes now, and in our hands, the V2 is the quickest bike we have ever launched 0 to 60 miles an hour at 3 seconds flat, quicker than we even managed on a supercharged Kawasaki ZH2. It's incredibly easy to launch the V2. In fact, you can really mess up your launch and still be fast because you are straight in the power. While you'd think that with all the torque the V2 would wheelie all the time, Ducati have clearly engineered the bike to get all of its power down to the tarmac without the wheel in the air, meaning that we could confidently turn off the traction control to get the most power possible and launch it really hard. Handling wise, the V2 is amazing. Showa big piston forks and a Sachs shock providing the suspension setup. It's a fairly plush setup as it is. It's really nice at handling road going bumps and undulations, but for track I'd probably want to stiffen it up, in particular the shock, but that is all adjustable. The riding position is on the aggressive side of sporty, quite a bit more aggressive than a GSX-R for example, with a jacked up rear seat and high rear set position. This wouldn't be a bike that I'd like to do long mileage on, but for shorter blasts it's awesome, and for track days it would be incredible. The bike initiates a corner really well, it holds a lovely line, and we've already discussed the corner exit. Being a big twin, I was expecting massive amounts of engine braking, rear wheel squirming under hard braking, but with the electronic engine brake control there really isn't. It's lovely under aggressive downshifts, aided by the beautiful quick shifter blipper that's fitted to the bike. Electronics on the Panigale V2 are amazing, each mode giving really nice differentiation, but being the bike it is, we opted for track mode most of the time. A state-of-the-art 6-axis IMU controls all aspects of the electronic interference: traction control, wheelie control, cornering ABS. The quickshifter Evo 2 is sublime, interacting with the slipper clutch and engine brake control to aid smooth braking and corner entry. The quickshifter Evo 2 adjusts the kill time at RPMs above 9,000 RPM, reducing the jerkiness often found with quickshifters that are asked to operate across all engine speeds. The Panigale V2 even has a GPS lap timer. The brake setup on the Panigale V2 is also excellent. Premium Brembo M4 calipers and matching master cylinder providing beautiful braking progression and feel. A soft initial touch with powerful progression. It's a lovely setup, and the ABS is not intrusive at all, with a setting that allows rear wheel lift before interfering. This is an option that is really helpful for track work. Completing the handling package are the Pirelli Rosso Corsa 2. A massively impressive tyre that works in all conditions and is brilliant for track days, with the ability to drop the rear tyre pressures. In fact, performance-wise, it says it all when Ducati official test rider Alessandro Villa lapped Jerez at a 1 minute and 48 seconds. That's only 11 seconds off the MotoGP lap record. Pretty amazing considering the comparison to a multi-million-dollar factory race bike. And speaking of the price, you would think you'd have to sell your soul to own one. Again, the V2 impresses. £15,000 for the Ferrari of motorcycles seems more than fair. Its desirability and residual values playing into the PCP offers currently available on them. Believe it or not, you can currently own one of these for around £30 a month more than the Everyman Yamaha MT-09. Although insurance is a bit higher than normal at £611 as quoted by our insurance partners Debit. If this is all sounding a bit too sweet for you, are there any thorns in the side of the rose that is the Panigale V2? Well, there's a couple of things that we noticed. Firstly, the bike doesn't always start up great. You'll need a good battery if you own this bike and a regular charge, as it does take a lot to get it to turn over. As Panigales famously do, the engine does create quite a bit of heat through the seat. This isn't a problem when you're riding on open roads, but city traffic in hot weather will leave you feeling pretty toasty. And the riding position is definitely on the aggressive side of sporty. And there are sports bikes out there with more comfortable riding positions, and the way that the front fairing is designed, clip-on risers would be out of the question. But other than that, we're really clutching at straws. Vibrating mirrors, the side stand's a bit hard to operate. But all of these are minor blemishes, forgotten the instant that you glance over your shoulder to look at it for the millionth time and remember how good it was to ride and how special it made you feel. In a package that is so good, from its looks to the way it performs to the special feeling that it gives you when you ride it. Whether or not the Panigale V2 is God's handwriting, we'll leave that to you to decide, but we think it's pretty close.